you really don't want to have that mindset, but it's hard not to.
Especially with the elimination matches being played tomorrow, you want to bring some momentum into those series. You don't just want to be demolished by Gen G 3-0. We'll get into picks and bans. Gen G chose first pick as the highest seed. LYON are coming in with blue side as their selection. So it's going to be Karma and Pantheon taken away by Gen G, and Rise and Varus removed by LYON.
Yeah, Gen G being consistently banning the Karma themselves, but a lot of these just general power picks we've seen. I think there's been a lot of differences between different regions and what the side selection's been. The LCK was always just like, you have side selection, we're going first pick. It was only later in series you'd sort of see second pick get more priority for most of the teams.
Well, we'll see if it continues to adapt as we get through the rest of first stand. Rumble, the final ban from Gen G, trying to negate some of the power of Big Dokes in that top lane. A player that on his day can challenge the best, but on his day can also struggle to have as much impact as he would like.
Yeah, and I think one of the picks that stands out to me, Orianna, still available, Vi, still available. So Nocturne gonna get taken out, so you won't have that Orianna-Nocturne combo potential, but you could still secure the Orianna here for Chovy, or if you want to get a jungle pick for Canyon, the Vi is available. He's been an absolute menace on that. It's been very frequently banned in this situation, just generally in this tournament and in the LCK Cup as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a push towards that Vi. Instead, the Orianna is going to get locked in for Gen G. Such a strong pick, generally in the mid lane. Doesn't have a huge amount of bad matchups, and later on, obviously, team fight pressure, zone control with the command attack and the shockwave just gives you so much ability to win out on those team fights. We'll see where the LYON want to go.
So I think denying the Vi definitely going to be important, and then it's, do you take something immediately to pair up with into the Orianna, or they're going to go for the Ashe. So I think Ashe, Vi could be a pretty strong rotation here. You save the Seraphine for that third pick. It does mean you have less flexibility because you have to kind of secure a support to go with the Ashe. We've seen that often, but we have seen sometimes like the Braum come through. If they go something like the Nautilus, there's the option for that. I know Dura has a really mean Blitzcrank, so that's definitely a threat that you might have if you do commit to the Ashe and the Seraphine, but instead, Inspired going for the Xin Zhao. Another jungler, super high prioritized, but I think Canyon probably just goes towards the Vi then.
Jack will be happy though, because when Inspired played up against Gen G, that's, you know, 18 months ago, different roster and different bot lane for Gen G, it was on the Xin Zhao that he was able to pick up one of his 2 wins. So, in Jack's mind, this game is basically already done.
And it looks like Gen G toying with the idea of denying the Seraphine. I mean, Seraphine as well with the Ashe so strong, but also Enchanters with Xin Zhao super powerful. We've seen, you know, years ago it's like Lulu, when Lulu was a mid laner, Lulu Xin Zhao was super strong, but just buffing up when he gets into those fights has a lot of strength. I expect it's going to be the jungle here for Gen G to match, to round things out, but we'll see if they have some different ideas.
Do you still want to look for something like the Vi here? Her going in with an Encore on top of her does give you a lot of control over areas of the fight. Into the Xin Zhao does trade relatively well into Vi early game, can knock her out of her Bolt Breaker, and because of that, perhaps Gen G have decided, okay, we're just going to put them all onto the dance floor in the Cataclysm and make them do the Foxtrot for us.
I mean, Jarvan and Orianna, super strong combo, especially into an Ashe who's the mobile AD carry. And it looks like they're going to go for potentially the Ashe Lulu, so an Enchanter that pairs well with the Xin Zhao. Not as strong a pairing with Ashe in terms of the lane, but still can buff it up pretty powerfully. But it does just make me think that, you know, the Cataclysm Wombo combo that you have with the Seraphine Orianna, there's 2 great targets already I'm looking at in that bot lane.
Super low mobility bot lane already from LYON. We'll see if Canyon decides to path down there, maybe skipping a camp to get there a little bit earlier. We have seen some invades towards the blue side red buff as well early on, and then rotate, come back round through the Krug area to find early ganks towards bot lane. We'll move into the second set of bans. Ezreal taken away by LYON. They want to get rid of some of the poking and the prodding that Ruler can do on that pick. And a Kali taken away by Gen G.
Yeah, trimming out some of the mid lane picks available to Saint. I wonder if maybe like an Ahri ban comes through as well. You know, a pick we've seen, one of the few mid laners that wasn't sort of toned down on this patch. And obviously something that would be able to circumnavigate a lot of the engage that Gen G does have available for LYON, just trimming down options for Ruler in this situation with the Ezreal being taken away. I think he still has a ton of tools. The Jhin, a lot of follow-up, and also a lot of laning power. I think Jhin, Seraphine into Ashe Lulu, you're going to have a bit of a tough time in the 2v2 if that did come through.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, especially with the Deadly Flourish combination with the beat drop coming out of Seraphine for that extra CC layering. And we'll see where Gen G decides to go with their final ban, whether they want to just get Dokla onto something perhaps he's a little bit less comfortable on, get rid of a tank for LYON. They have a wealth of options, and yeah, going to get rid of the Gnar. It's good engage for Dokla in that top lane and gives you follow-up on something like an Enchanted Crystal Arrow as well.
A pick he also had a ton of success on when he had that series up against Loud, you know, was a menace in the side lane. Also maybe indicates that Keen could just be going towards like a Renekton pickup, especially he's going to have to blind in this situation. We often see Gnar have a lot of success, but we know Dokla is willing to bring out other range tops as kind of picks. Now, the Sylas, not the most fun time in lane. This is definitely a lane where Saint kind of has to survive it, but the ults that you can pick up here, like the Encore is just so good. Yeah. Such a great one to be able to take away, especially with the added boost of having the AP ratios from a mid laner compared to a support.
Yeah, even stealing away things like the Cataclysm just to try and get onto that Gen G backline, really be able to isolate someone out. And there is the Renekton for Keen, have to blind it with Dokla having last pick for LYON, so no real surprises that we see something that is stock standard and relatively safe. The Gnar being one of the true bullies for Renekton up towards that top side. And now Gen G looking towards their AD carry. There's not a huge amount of backline threat yet from LYON, so something like the Kog'Maw could just stand back and deliver those auto attacks.
Yeah, definitely feels like they're leaning towards a hyper carry from what they're hovering. Yeah. There's a lot of options available, but they actually switched up and go to the MF. I mean, you have the setup for it. This is kind of the composition that you think back to when you were, in gold, and you're like, let's pick like a wombo combo composition.
It's just missing the Amumu.
Yeah, and this is honestly a bit of a look we've seen more for Gen G this year compared to previous years. They changed their coaching staff, they brought Ryu in, and I feel like last year was so much more finesse comps, like a bit harder to pilot, but it's Gen G, we make it work. They're so much more likely to pick like, oh, we just have strong team fight, press all the buttons, we win. And it really makes it hard to match them as a result when it gets to those 5v5s, which is so excellent at. We do see Dokla pick up the Cassante, though, in the end, just to have a bit more frontline.
Yeah, I think at LYON, in terms of frontline, they have it. They've got a bit of pick as well with Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Sylas there for an Encore to get some CC in team fights, but I feel they're much more around pick rather than being able to have like really solid team fights, whereas Gen G, it is a press Archon. It's the Bronze Odia when we used to talk about it, right? If they can get towards that second dragon that we saw them use so well against JDG and then just win a team fight around that, after that point they'll have a stranglehold on the game.
I think my concern for LYON is the bottom mid matchup's pretty rough early on. Going to see a lot of prio afforded over to Gen G there. And also when it comes to team fights, not as much damage on the side of LYON, especially when you're cutting through the shielding of the Orianna, of the Seraphine. It's going to be a bit of an issue. And if you get caught with a lot of melee champions in those big wombo combos, it's going to be tough. So I think maybe not giving themselves the easiest tools so far in this game, but we'll see what they're able to pull off.
I mean, Inspired talked a little bit about it in an interview. He said laning phase against Gen G is always going to be hard. You have to try and be as even as possible and then find a team fight. And there's a little bit more chaos. There's a few more options to find picks around team fights. Perhaps we can win through that. But it is a gargantuan, mammoth task ahead of LYON right now, playing up against Gen G. Undefeated so far in the tournament, only defeated twice across 2026. The lineup that made semi-finals of Worlds last year. Let's jump onto the Rift for the first game of day 4 here of First Stand. And we see both the junglers just meeting up on that top side river. No one's really going to find any deep vision at all.
Yeah, I don't see any interesting level 1s coming out. I feel like that maybe was also an angle. Especially when you have like the Ashe and the Sylas, if you get like an early stun level 1, and the slows on the Ashe could have been something to disrupt things a little bit.
It could be. Looks like Inspired is going to path up towards this top side. Wonder if perhaps he can try and punish Keen a little bit on this Renekton. And this is going to be hard to really find too much purchase down towards the bottom side. And Keen, in my mind, the best player this year for Gen G. He's absolutely topping the charts, continues to impress.
Yeah, his numbers have been kind of crazy. His DPM was like outstripping most of the mid laners in the LCK. The only mid lane who had a higher DPM was Chovy. Yeah. So he was just doing so much work, and the thing is he's not just a carry top laner, such a versatile player in what he can do. very well-rounded. And live on patch 2606, check out Warbound Center. A portion of the skins proceeds will be shared across the LoL Esports team, so you can support your favorite team with that.
Yeah. And perhaps have a better showing than Hans did on the Center yesterday. Struggled into BLG.
It was a little tricky. Maybe needed a bit more damage in the composition.
Yeah,
you know?
perhaps. Genji have a litany, a slew of damage. Inspired, after clearing his bot side, is going to work his way up towards this mid lane. We talked about how low mobility some of LYON is. Well, Chovy also low mobility, has to flash away, and Chovy managing to escape that, as Genji have managed to escape losing much over the last little while. Their win streak now up to 9 series in the first 63 days of the year, as Keen trades onto Dokla, but won't be able to get enough damage now. Yeah,
they had a super long win streak last year in terms of series, in terms of time, and the amount of series managed to get that one going for such a long time. It is daunting going up against Genji, but I feel like for LYON, you know, I have a smaller goal for them right now. So Berserker, we saw in the pre-show, he's played 9 games against Genji.
Might have to hold that.
Might have to hold that for a second. We'll see what Canyon's looking for here.
And on his way down towards the bottom lane, Duro has that passive built up. We'll look for the beat drop. Whimsy, flash forward, flash heal. Isles the target now for Genji. He has to flash away as well. All but one summoner burnt for the LYON bot lane, as Chovy and Saint trained in mid. Inspired's on his way across. Saint falling lower. Chovy doesn't have the mana for another command attack, and so will just back away, knowing his jungler is not in the area to protect him. Yeah, so showing some of the difficulties the Sylas can have in the lane, but yeah, Chovy not having the mana to follow through. But yeah, just going back to what I was saying, so Berserker's played 9 games against Genji in his career, and at no point in any of those games did they even manage to take a tier 2 turret. It's been a little tough, so we talked about maybe getting a game. My goal for LYON, you know, let's start at small, baby steps. Tier 2 turret. That's what we're hoping for. That would be a career fizz for Berserker against Genji. We'll see if we can make it to that point. I was dead.
Not a good start for that.
That is a bad start. Like, he oversteps a little bit, and like he manages to dodge the CC coming out of Genji, but it doesn't really matter because he just takes all the auto attacks. Now Inspired's coming down here, but with the ward in the tribush, Genji can very easily just begin to walk away. Still have the flash on Ruler and the heal on Duro, meaning that even if Inspired was there, there's a risk that they would lose out that 2v2.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough lane, right? We saw the denial of the Seraphine and then having the MF as well. It's a strong lane for Ruler Duro. Add the impact of losing your summoners to that gank. But I think Isles is overstepping a bit too much. And as you said when Inspired was talking about it, like, you have to survive lane. This is not the start you want if you want to survive lane.
Yeah, 1,000 gold at 4.5 minutes as Canyon and Inspired.
Oh, he's been spotted.
Pathways, flash forward from Inspired. Canyon coming in, flag and drag, lands the double knockup, but now Inspired with no flash needs to try and get out of bounds. He can trade back onto Canyon, but Canyon still holds onto his summoner. Flashes away, survives the trade. Saint dashing back in here onto Chovy. Saint does have a flash, so if he is really in a precarious spot, he can get out.
Going a little bit worse now for LYON in this situation. Don't think there's any other way to spin it. But trying to make the play there, and Canyon gets the spot onto Inspired before it comes in. And unfortunately, just for LYON, lands everything. And is successful in the counter gang, so...
And then flashes out just before he dies.
Yeah, well, we can take stock. So bot lane, going pretty rough. Mid lane, going pretty rough. Dokla has not died yet, but...
still pretty rough.
Yeah, he's down in farm a good amount.
He's down 2 waves of farm, man. It is a struggle in the laning phase for LYON, and it would be a struggle in the laning phase for the majority of teams around the world. This is what Genji do so well. Yes. They make good teams look bad.
Yes. I do have a term for a game like this.
Okay.
It's called a roughy toughy.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because they're the underdogs, so it's a roughy toughy?
Yeah, that's exactly. Nailed it.
Thought so.
Okay, well, Canyon's having a good start to this one already. Obviously made his impact felt early, and with that massive amount of buff prio, and Saint's health bar, I think, feels pretty comfortable to go for this early dragon. Also, a Chemtech dragon feels pretty great because it's not going to be a Chemtech soul, but also the shielding and healing. You have a lot of shielding. That 6%, you know, Canyon's got a shield, Chovy, Duro as well, even the healing from Keen. It's actually a decent amount of value on that first dragon.
Should be able to get it.
I'd be able to do much.
He doesn't have flash,
so
and there's no blast cone for him to get in. So yeah, he puts a ward down, spots that the Drake's gone over to Gen.G, who now have a 2,000 gold lead 6.5 minutes into the game. And the evolution of Canyon, obviously a very storied player, but I think last year a few people would have looked at him as the weakest point of a still very good Gen.G.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But this year, he's really leveled up again.
I think the main thing was that last year, Gen.G, Canyon specifically, felt less active, and it felt like Duro was kind of filling this role as like a second jungler, and he was doing a lot of, moving around the map, ganking, and Canyon was a bit camp-focused, and at times it felt like that was maybe the weakness. They were still a very strong team. But I feel like now, this year, especially when there's more enchanters in the meta, Canyon has really been a big driving force, and we're seeing that already in this game, right? Already getting off 2 successful ganks, even though the bot lane gank didn't get a kill, it got all those summoners, that led to a kill later. Maybe another one.
is probably dead to the bullet type, flashes away. Double ultimates used from the Gen.G bot lane as they hit level 6 first. Isles is able to survive. The question is, can Berserker survive the damage that's going to come out? Can he stay underneath this tower, or Gen.G actually just going to look for a couple of plays? They will force Berserker back a little bit, but he'll still be able to get all of the farm.
Yeah, both sums been by Isles, not ideal, not really optimal, but Berserker's still there to pick up the farm, and he's not fallen too far behind in farm.
That's the mercy for LYON, right? Like, we talked about surviving laning phase. Saint in a bad matchup is, yes, he's 600 gold behind, but that's an amplifying tome and a refillable potion. Like, it is 600 gold, but it's nothing. It's not a K, as Chovy is going to get absconded, abducts, Shockwave coming out. There's the polymorph from Isles as they look for the chase, but Duro's here in time, and even with the wild growth, Saint can't go any deeper. He's going to get forced low. As the chase continues with the shield from the help picks at Isles, Saint will be able to walk away.
Yeah, and I think a bit unfortunate as well for LYON, because a lot was committed to that play, right? Both ults from the bot lane actually came through there, and we saw how the bot lane was struggling already, so it's going to be a bit harder for Berserker and Isles to match the 2v2 with those unavailable. Yeah. Not having the wild growth when Isles doesn't have heal and flash definitely puts them in a bit of an uncomfortable spot, but I like the fact they are trying for these plays.
Yeah, you got to do something proactive, otherwise you are just going to keep bleeding out, and you can bleed out a little bit, but 2,500 gold at 9 minutes is quite a substantial amount of blood loss, man. You're exsanguinating at that
You're the medical expert. You can tell us how much blood loss is okay.
There aren't enough tourniquets in the world. So that will be the force back. 2.5 minutes before the next Drake. Gen.G, if a team fights them at second Drake, they tend to win the game off that team fight after hitting those first item spikes. See Black Cleaver already for Keen.
They do just tend to win the game.
They do tend to win the game as well, okay?
Yeah.
But they love fighting around second Drake, It's definitely something we've seen them do at least once. But they've kind of, they do everything in every game.
We do see a comment. LYON has a better mid-game than Gen.G. They're better. We'll see. When
is the mid-game is the question. Inspired's here. Double root coming out as Juro looks for a little bit of damage. Canyon on the flank as well. Lining up for that Cataclysm. Bullet time available. Encore 9 seconds away. And I wonder if that's why Gen.G held off. Now as Inspired walks away. Oh, Canyon's back! Inspired's on his way across, but with the Cataclysm down, Isles, the Encore, he doesn't want more from that. A bullet time as well forces Berserker's flash, and Isles falls for the second time this game.
I love how the Cataclysm was just used as a gap closer to get to Isles. They know the Lulu has no summoners, that's the focus target. Yeah. Not going so hot for LYON, but Gen.G looking great.
Yeah, Gen.G looking great. And this is the thing, like the games at the moment, you are just going to praise Gen.G because of how well they're playing, but they are making their opponents look so poor.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so used to praising Gen.G.
Yeah, you are?
Yeah, it's I've gotten a lot of practice at it.
I think all of us have over the last couple of years, They've just been so consistently good and keeping the roster continue to level up. Isles looking for a little bit of vision towards the Grubs. Still 40 seconds on the Drake. Keen trading with Dokla. Not really too much going to happen there apart from the CS lead continuing to build up. I wonder what LYON's play is. Is it like try and survive the first item, give next Drake most likely? There's no real reason to force a fight around it when you don't have those first items.
You know what feels really bad? It's Chemtech Ocean, which... I mean, obviously it's situational, like Soul's always situational, but I feel like those are usually the worst 2 Souls. So the fact those are the first 2 dragons, I just have a feeling Gen.G it's going to be Hextech Soul, right? And they'll just feel so bad.
I think they'd like Infernal as well.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, Infernal with the burst that you have out of the combos.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd go pretty well. So, LYON definitely will at some point have to contest dragons. Not now, though. I think that was the right call. 4,000 gold deficit almost at 11.5 minutes. Rather large.
It is.
Rather substantial. I think, you know what's the craziest thing? Look at Duro's gold lead. Even the support has,
He got
like,
killed, man.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like even the support has a massive gold lead.
I mean, the other thing is, it's so much easier to get your World Atlas procs as a range support when your team is ahead and pushing in, right? You can see Duro's already completed the Dream Catcher, Dream Maker, Dreamy thing, whereas IOS is still sitting on the halfway
and
there.
I mean, also just Seraphine into Lulu,
oh my
it's so easy to proc in difference.
You chuck it out, you know? Beat drop, see if you can land a high note or something. There's Canyon here covering Inspired, working his way down towards the bottom side. Duro is ratting for vision on a Seraphine. Now, this is not something we too commonly see. Ratting for vision, where supports go deep like this, place a couple of wards, and then you often see it on a Bard or a Khan or sometimes an Alistar because you can just escape relatively easily. Seraphine is not the champion that you usually see going unaided into the enemy jungle.
Yeah, I think a lot of confidence in this game, and maybe that's how they catch them out, right? I think Pix is definitely the way. Not Pix like Lulu's friend.
I assumed you were just lots of shields. You know?
Picking off members of Gen G who are isolated. And it is the Hextech Soul as well. Oh. I just knew it'd be because that just really last nail in the coffin. If Gen G can get that, which is looking likely. We'll see.
Likely. Inspired's going to be tracked through his entire path on this bottom side. Grub's an option for Gen G. They'll start those up. Going to take all of the neutrals off the map. TP used by Dokula to get towards the top lane, but no contest really able to materialize from LYON. So if you are LYON, if we're LYON in this point, you are miles behind. 4,000 gold, Gen G, we know they're very good at closing games from this position. But how do we find a way back in?
I think it just comes down to, because right now there's no Mikhails, there's no cleanse, you have the Ash Arrow, you have things like the Cassante, which are pretty good for isolating a target. I think if you take a 5v5, you're losing. If you find someone by themselves, that's the way into the game, and you just try and do that as much as possible. But the alternative conversation I want to raise is, so we've seen League of Legends change quite a bit over the years, more things added to it, right? What do you view a perfect game as?
So my general view is nothing on the scoreboard.
Okay,
right? So
if they got one grub...
If they got one grub, I think it is much harder to get a perfect game now than it used to be. I'll preface that, right? But if they get one grub, yes, I do think it wouldn't be a perfect game. Even though like the 2 grubs is the one that gets the announcement. No, but you've got something on the scoreboard. Right. I don't count plates because they're not on the scoreboard. Okay. Right? Well, so far... at the moment, yes, Gen G are on track for a perfect game. On track for a perfect game, okay. And so far, you know, we talked earlier about the no tier 2 towers for Berserker. They do need to make a bit more progress. They haven't got a plate. LYON have yet to get a plate. 2 minutes on the next Drake. I thought they'd have an easier chance with the crystalline overgrowth to set that up, but right now it looks like Gen G's setting up for a fight. IOS does have flash and heal, is forced away, uses the wild growth to knock up Canyon. Inspired trying to jump on towards that backline. They get the abscond that does onto Juro as well, but he flashes away in the encore. Inspired diving in with the crescent guard. He'll take out Rule at the full of time. Not enough. Inspired going further. And LYON, as soon as we talk about the perfect game, they are having none of that. They find their first kill of the series. Actually, a great engage that comes through. Duro even gets this beautiful flash ult out, but it's not enough. Ruler tries to channel the bullet time right in the face of Inspired. And the perfect game is ruined. I was so sure after Duro got the flash out that LYON was just all going to die in that Cataclysm in the midst of it, but Inspired finding his mark. Summoners used across the board. We'll have another look at this because it is Canyon and Ruler and Duro stepping up looking for the fight. I mean, Isles, this is a great wild growth to kind of disrupt. And then they go for the Ash Arrow onto Duro. Oh, we're getting more of a fight here. It's not more of a fight. It's a very quick pick. Yeah. Very quick pick out of Gen G. Yeah, the redirect on the ult from Duro, really nice there, but just still not enough. And it's still very favored towards Gen G. But LYON showing, with the right setup, right situation, they can get a kill. Yep, and they did manage to do that. Tower going down for Gen G, though, in the top lane. Chovy going to be the one, the recipient of that. Some plates for Saint down towards the bottom lane. LYON on the board in terms of plates as well. Still a 1.4k lead for Chovy, who is really popping off so far this first stand. I think start of the year, Sometimes he was a little bit quieter, but obviously still Chovy.
I think the early stages of the LCK Cup, again, I feel like we put him to such a high standard that when he's playing at like a 8 out of 10, I'm like, okay, come on. But there was that series against G+ where he did like the 79k damage Aurora game. He was just insane. Now Chovy is Chovying, and Keen is Keening.
Yeah, Keen jumping onto Saint. And with Canyon coming across as well, Saint doesn't really have anywhere to go. Chovy will be there. Puts the Saint in the pew, says Church is in session. And secures that kill on the enemy mid.
Yeah, able to find that pickup. I think Saint staying a little bit too long for those plates. Dokla getting some alone time top though. There's something there at least.
It's also going to be third Drake. Soul point for Gen G. Hex Soul at 17 minutes. That's a 22-minute Soul if they take it immediately. And LYON just can't really step in too easily. Inspired perhaps looking for the Wind Becomes Lightning Audacious charge just to get the smite. Goes in late, stunned immediately. Wildgoat gets a massive knockup, but Inspired's dead before he can do anything else. The Crescent Guard not even used, and with the TP behind from Dokla, can't find an avenue into the fight.
Yeah, the immediate CC before he gets the ult out, pretty devastating. But, you know, I think you have to go for the steal in that situation.
Yeah.
Another death for Inspired doesn't actually mean that much. It's like a little bit more gold for Gen G. If you get the steal, even if the odds are low, gives you a lot of reprieve. So I can't hate that he went for the play.
No.
I think it was the right move. Just unfortunate how it panned out.
It's one of those you have to. And you also kind of expect to not manage to do it as well. It's Gen G. Their objective control, unsurprisingly, pretty good.
Yeah.
And they keep him away from the pit long enough to secure it. Now with a 5,000 gold lead, 18 minutes in, Gen G can take their time with it. They've got Rift Herald as well, if they want to use that to try and get a charge in, maybe crack through the mid-tier 1, just to open up the map a little bit more.
The thing I'm a little bit concerned about, because Dokla's kept up in farm pretty well. Berserker, even with bot lane being a rough matchup, has kept up in farm. Mid lane, less so. There is, like, Chovy has a whole item. It's like a whole item versus Namtome right now. And I feel like on Silas, you really, if you're weak, you'll just get exploded. Like, you're benefiting from being bulky enough to get rotations of abilities. That's just not going to happen if you're this 2,000 gold down in this situation.
Yeah, and there's a lot of damage as well on Gen G's side. It's not like only the Orianna is damage. You also have Ruler, who already has the Bloodthirster complete and building up towards possibly an Infinity Edge second here. If you go in, you are just going to get burst. There's the Rift Herald going down, TP coming out as well. Gen G look to be investing on a second charge, maybe a tier 2. If they can get it, the charge at least will come in. And Ruler continues to chip away at the tower. Chovy's TP more for moral support than anything else.
I think having the backup of the team, because there were some flank wards, one of them has actually died, but this is a moment where LYON could potentially threaten, like, to come in. They don't have the TPs actually at the moment, but like if they could move in on the flanks and threaten. But Gen G 5-man strong, really hard to approach.
Saint trying to mark Keen, but Keen has a 2-level lead over the enemy mid laner. 2.5 minutes on the next Drake. That's really what Gen G is setting up for, just trying to get some vision in here, steal away as many camps as possible. Chovy is going to find Saint as they both walk towards this blue buff area, just keeping them away from the minions. This is also something, the amount of times I said this is something Gen G do really well in this game, but something that Gen G do that I think not a lot of people will notice is how willing they are to sacrifice a couple of minions for themselves to make sure the enemy loses a whole wave.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I won't actually farm this last shot as Inspired is caught out, dives onto Ruler with the Crescent Guard. Encore coming across, Inspired flashes over it, but Ruler's healed and has the barrier, and even with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Inspired can't get enough to follow up. He almost had it, but Gen G immediately come to the defense of their AD carry.
Yeah, just so much healing coming out from Duro there, and now one of the problems is Inspired doesn't have his flash. So that next dragon fight, getting access to it going to be so much more difficult. And Gen G, you know, enemy jungler down, don't even think of the prospect of going for Baron. They just don't even think there's no need. We have Hextech Soul in a minute and a half. We're just going to look towards that. In terms of the fight for the Soul, Ruler being down flash is something maybe LYON can look to capitalize on, but the problem is even if you win the fight, which is I don't think is really likely, but if you win the fight but they get Soul, you're still going to be in a really bad spot.
It's also like, how do you get onto Ruler without his flash? Because now he can play a little bit further back. You've got the arrow, you have an all-out, like flash all-out from Dokla maybe, but he's never really going to be close enough for that. And then Inspired is usually the one that you'd be looking at, can you get on towards this MF, but he no longer has that summoner.
I think with this comp from LYON, you don't want to be grouped together.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not into what Gen G has, but ideally, if you can get some deeper wards and go just multiple angles, you have TPs, you have to commit everything to this fight. So just TP in, go for flanks, throw everything at Ruler, and you either win the fight, you get the dragon, or you lose the game. You're 7,000 gold down. You know, it's all or nothing at this point. I think what's nice is that even though it being a Hextech Soul is really, really, really bad, the Hex Gates actually really help with getting flanks off and getting good angles of approach. So we'll see if they're able to make use of those. Right now, they've got some shallow vision starting to get set up, but
some in the back of the pit, which is nice for them right now.
Yeah, but Gen G are moving in to clear out what they can find.
Let's see if they spot the one just sitting in the back of the Dragon Pit there. Canyon on his way down. Dokla a little bit isolated. Inspired did just finish his recall, but Dokla will just be spotted with the Demacian standard.
That ward in the pit doesn't get spotted, actually, but
that's big.
That's it. That's it in the area, so a bit difficult to approach. You just see Dokla
TP's to the mid lane, fighting for mid lane prior. Canyon going in with a flag and drag. Dokla has that huge shield from the teleport. Wins the Enchanted Crystal. Canyon heals up with the Sundered Sky. Dragon strikes the wrong way. Keen diving onto the backline. Crescent Guard coming out from his spiders. Keen slices and dices away. Dokla flashes in. Duo flashes out. Canyon going in with the Cataclysm. Berserker almost caught out. The Encore not hitting, but the bullet time does. Berserker taken down. Keen still chasing off Inspired. Dokla will get the kill onto Duo, but Ruler, Canyon, and Keen basically untouched will chase them down. A 4-for-1 in Gen G's favor.
They try to look for it, they try to get onto Canyon there, but just unable to cut through him. Dokla takes out Duro, but it's a small consolation prize.
Oh, that was his dead as well.
Oh no.
No, and tasted purple. And as you say, small consolation with the soul going over to Gen G. Alongside it, the Baron begun by Ruler and Canyon.
Yeah. Well, it is a best of 5. There's more opportunities to get back in the series. I just think, yeah, so that's the MasterCard priceless moment of the game, securing the Hextech Soul. And I think at this point, you are looking towards game 2. It's not quite a 10,000 gold lead, but approaching on it. We'll get a replay of this fight, so they commit a lot to this Jarvan. Canyon honestly uses that Q in the wrong direction, doesn't really get anything from it, but he's just so bulky with the healing and shielding from Duro. And Dokla ends up going for Duro, does actually take out the support, but in the meantime, Berserker dies to the bullet time. Chovy is there to take out Dokla, and Ruler's just basically untouched.
Also, like, Keen just burning the Crescent Guard at the start of the fight. She's like, okay, I'm standing on top of you, deal with me. And yeah, no real surprises. Gen G pretty confident after
LYON
that.
Don't look too shaken up about it, right? Good. They kind of understand the position they're in this game.
Oh, goodness, Inspired.
Yeah.
Flash about to come off cooldown, but still not up for him yet. Tried to dive onto Chovy, but Inspired dies very rapidly to Chovy and Ruler. Enchanted Crystal going down onto Canyon, but he's pretty damn tanky, even at only 2 items. Dokla, the only one with a gold lead here on LYON. Can he maintain it? Goes in with the Path Maker, Encore lands onto 3, and Dokla will be cut to ribbons by Gen G. A charm coming onto Canyon as Saint falls, Isles follow suit, Berserker joins him in the body bags, and Gen G will march down mid.
Yeah, that should be game, and we will be going over to game 2. I think in this one, Gen G, a lot of power in lane, a lot of power in team fights, and I think the fact it was that Hextech Soul when they already had the Dragon stacked up early definitely did not help. Not exactly an unexpected outcome, but LYON in for a rough start in the series.
Yeah, rough start for LYON, strong start again for Gen G. 17 kills to 3, a 12k lead at 25 minutes as they continue their undefeated streak here at first stand, going 1-0 up over LYON. Welcome back to first stand as we are ready and raring to go into draft for game 2. LYON picking second pick. Gen G have taken a blue side. They're going to get rid of the Rise, Karma, and Varus removed by LYON. That seems wrong. Because how did LYON have 2 bans already if they're second pick?
Oh, so this is LYON's strategy? Yeah. They've taken the Gen G logo.
Genius.
And actually, if LYON have Keen, Canyon, Chovy, Ruler, Duro, that's a pretty stacked roster.
Okay. So, yes. LYON with Keen are coached by Rainover. Slight draft overlay weirdness going on here. We'll get that sorted out for you as soon as possible, obviously. We were as confused as you all were at home. So obviously just one of those things that can happen. as we sort everything out, but we'll get back into that draft as quickly as possible. We heard Duro talking about how the win over JDG didn't really excite anything within him.
I feel like he wasn't even trying to be like, he was just like, yeah, you know, we win everything. You know, it sounded so casual the way he was saying it.
Do you think, like, if they do win Worlds this year, which I think at the moment you would, on their current form, they should be favorites for Worlds. If we played Worlds right now, right?
Long way away, but
do you think it is worse to win Worlds if you just have won everything that year because it's kind of expected? Or do you think it's better to do like a T1 and only just sneak in 4th seed and then win Worlds from there because it's less expected?
Do I think it's worse to win everything in the year in Golden Road?
Yeah, but in terms of personal satisfaction with it, does it feel better to fight from being the underdog to win Worlds, or just be like, oh, we were always the best?
You know, I wouldn't personally know, but I feel like it feels pretty good regardless.
I mean, 100% feels good regardless, but it's like, do you get more satisfaction out of the trials and tribulations?
I don't know. It's hard to, you know, there's one player I know who can make the comparison. His name is Faker. I don't think many other players can make the comparison.
I mean, very true.
So
very true.
We'll have to ask him.
Okay, let's get back into the draft. LYON on the blue side, going to ban out Rise, Rumble, and Pantheon. Nico, Varus, and Karma taken away by Genji, and they will first pick the Vi.
Okay, now we get the first pick Vi coming through. So that point-and-click lockdown at pick Canyon definitely loves to prioritize. And does make you think, what will it be paired with? Right, the Talia is still open and available as an option. But we did see the Aurora come out from LYON, which, you know, really strong pick, and also something that I think good to deny it from Chovy. That pick, he had a crazy game. I talked about it earlier, but the 79k damage game in playoffs, it was like 1.7k DPM.
That is,
it was absurd.
Incredibly impressive.
Yunara coming through as well, so a pick that Berserker could definitely pop off from. You don't have the Lulu to back it up, though, in this situation. With that being taken out in game 1, I know Yunara Lulu's been that really strong combo that people love to pair together.
Yeah, Seraphine gone as well, alongside Karma, so you don't have like a true easy enchanter. You could play something like the Melio if you wanted to.
Nico gone too. I know Yunara and Nico's been like a really strong team fighting combo, so it'll be interesting to see what comes through in terms of support combos. And Genji just going to slam down the Ambessa for Keen, so it's not a flex, obviously, with the Vi already there, but that is... Oh, that's scary. If I'm playing Yunara and I see Vi, Ari, and Ambessa on the other team, Berserker's going to have his work cut out for him.
Add in like a Nautilus. It's like the pure, I just hate playing this game composition.
Fortunately, they have bans before they get to pick the support.
They do.
So,
they do. And it looks like it might not be the Ari. It might be Galio instead. A little bit less easily counterpicked is the Galio in mid.
Yeah, interesting they switched to that. I feel like the Ari has that mobility, that momentum in fights, but you know, a lot of global pressure afforded by that Galio and a pick that Chovy. I mean, there's a lot of picks he's very good on, but definitely excellent on.
Very true. And with the Vi and Ambessa diving onto the back line, Hero's entrance on top of it, you know, it does exactly what you want it to do. LYON looking towards perhaps an Ari of their own.
Yeah, so putting the Aurora in the top lane, and Dokla, a player who very often we've seen LYON put his pick late in this in the draft, often getting a counter pick, but here they've ended up flexing to essentially give him that and giving him a ranged top matchup into the Ambessa. So, you know, last game we saw Keen get a pretty solid sense farm advantage. This time it's going to be Dokla who should have control of that lane. You know, we've seen him bring out like the Varus top, the Vayne top.
I think this is the first Aurora top we've seen from him this year, though. As far as I can recall.
I think it makes sense, though, fits in with the style of play. He's brought out a lot more this year. Last year, I think it was less common for him to be doing this, but now having that range top matchup, they have a lot of advantages. And you see LYON taking out the Nami, preparing with Corki and Lucian, so a lot of strength there.
Also just a lot of pressure in the lane. The ability to go in and dash onto the Yunara, who does need to build up that cultivation of spirit to really be able to trade back into you effectively, or to hit the Arc of Triumph as well. Poppy banned away from Isles, no real surprises there. Probably his best pick, in my opinion. Yeah,
I feel like LYON probably want a pick that can like disengage and peel. I feel like for Genji, like a Rakan would be really strong with what they have already. I mean, Alistair too has a lot of value, but I think the Rakan still being open, I could see that being paired up. Honestly, we saw it played in the tournament. It's not something Duras play, but even like a Camille support would be crazy here.
True.
I think just accentuating what you already have in terms of the dive, and then Ruler can play something to follow up. I feel like Ruler here could just play the Jhin.
Yeah, you could Jhin. I was also thinking if you just want to dominate the lane, you could go like Caitlyn Bard and just like really harass this Yunara. You're not going to have last pick. We'll see if LYON decides to keep that for support, but Caitlyn Bard on the backline tempered the fate there for the either disengage or for the initial engage for the Vi, and then better to follow up on. I could see it working.
Yeah, Wukong ban is big, because I was thinking what does Inspired assume he's going to pick here, and they leave support to last, and I think Wukong was one of the picks on the forefront.
Inspired's Viego, he made a name on this champion all the way back in his days in the EU LCS, I think it was at the time, maybe the LEC, picking up a pentakill on it, and it will be locked in.
So there's a ton of momentum in this composition. You get a kill, the resets are going to feel really strong. Question is, who is getting you that first initial kill? They don't have like a primary engager yet, so that support pick going to be really important. It is leaving it to last pick, leaving that last option available for Isles to have the information. And Gen.G, it looks like they probably will just go for that Rakan. Really simple, just to follow up with the Vi. And also, I think Rakan Galio is just so strong.
Oh, it's gross. It is grotesque. Rakan Corki gives you pressure in the lane. We see Rakan not as strong level 1 as some other supports, but if you use the Gleaming Quill and you trade in well with the Gatling Gun, Corki kind of covers that for you.
I think also having the Corki compared to something like the Jhin, the fact you have that dash.
A little bit of mobility, yeah.
Yeah, and it means that there's no real easy target. When you think about the sort of reset potential of LYON, there's not like a target you can think, oh, we can just jump on them immediately. They're an easy one to take out. That being said, one thing when you are getting resets with the Viego, if the champion has a dash, feels really good. There's a lot of dashes. If you start getting, like, you go onto Rakan, grand entrance in, get a reset again, and you just keep...
dash, get ambassador, 100% see it.
Speaking of getting that first kill, getting that momentum, Nautilus, he is the king of single target lockdown.
Oh, we needed lockdown from this LYON squad, right? You look at the rest of it, you've got a Charm, and you have a Spectral Maul. And that's all of your CC. Like, you have a slow from the weirding, I guess, right? But really, you needed something with quite heavy CC. Need to have someone that can be that initiator. The problem is, on something like a Nautilus, and this is why the Nautilus Death Fund exists, if you fall behind, you're gonna die a lot, because that is just what happens when you are the primary engage for your team. And Gen.G in game 1 showed us that in terms of laning, they can force LYON behind. I like what I'm seeing from LYON though. It's heavy skirmish. We didn't see them take that many fights deliberately in game 1. Apart from that one around the river where Inspired was able to pick up Ruler, I'd like to see a little bit more impetus, a little more get up and go from LYON in this game.
If you let Gen.G pull off their engage, I think you're going to have a really rough time. But if you get that first initial pick with the Nautilus, with the Ahri, you get the momentum. That's where I can see the avenue here. I do really like Gen.G's composition, but I will say something LYON have secured here compared to last game, better lane matchups. We saw mid lane really be a struggle, bot lane really be a struggle, top lane, I think Dokwa was doing better than the other lanes, but still behind in terms of farm. This time, I think you have an advantageous matchup in the top lane. You know, you have range first melee in the mid, and bot should be more stable.
Yeah, I have to see if LYON can keep things stable through the early game, as Chovy on this Galio is just going to spot out Inspired. For Gen.G, business as usual. It's a very Gen.G comp, right? You have solid dive from Keen and Canyon. You've got Ruler on an AD carry that can do a huge amount of damage later on. You've got Duro there. His ability to be everywhere on the map, get vision in before objectives, but also be that follow-up engage. And Gen.G loving life with these 5 picks.
You know, it's interesting because we saw the change that did happen for Gen.G that we've talked a bit about was Ryu, who was the coach for BNK Fearx, coming from that team over to Gen.G. And I feel like these sorts of drafts were very indicative of how BNK Fearx wanted to play last year and the sort of things they would draft. Having like that late engage, easy sort of, and we've had this game and last game. It's like you have your go buttons, you charge in, and with the team as strong as Gen.G in those 5v5s, it feels a bit unfair.
It's one of those, I think a lot of people, when they look at great teams, will say, oh, they play complex things well. As Ignite goes down onto Ruler, doesn't have the Valkyrie right now. Gleaming Quill available for Duro, but he can't get in range to heal up Ruler. Great trade from Berserker and Isles there. Yeah,
really good trade, and I love, they go for the Ignite. So normally we've seen heals so much for supports, but Duro doesn't want to heal there because the healing's reduced, so he holds it, he saves it, and that means you don't get the movement speed, so Ruler's trapped into the trade for longer. Berserker and Isles, you know, game 2, they're coming to play.
Yeah, really nice early trade. Good hook from Isles to start things off. Level 2 now for Ruler and Duro does mean they're a little bit safe. Another hook's going to land. Gleaming Quill on Duro will heal up Ruler as well.
Hey, look, we're 2 minutes into the game. This is already looking way better.
It's massive. Good stuff all round for the LYON bottom lane. Slight leads in every role apart from support right now for them. Douglas getting the push into Keen with that ranged into melee matchup, and Keen having to sacrifice at least a couple of minions out of this wave just because of how much pressure Douglas can put down.
See,
Area was used by Berserker in bot lane to make sure that he got his recall off.
Yeah, good move there, picking up the coal, so has that investment coming through. And Ruler not going to be able to max out as obviously he wants to get his tier.
I mean, Cull is so good on Yunara as well. All of that lifesteal, or pseudo lifesteal off from it with your Cultivation of Spirit, the Q. Wave start to push towards Douglas, especially with Keen thinning it out like this, but Keen's struggling a little bit because of that range disparity that is there. Canyon actually foregoing the bot side Scuttle Crab, even though he was on that side of the map, is just saying, okay, we're going to get 1-for-1. I'll run up to top, delays me by 8-10 seconds or so, but we'll make sure that I don't lose out on a fight in that bot side river. Yeah,
this is the thing, is that LYON are putting these lanes in an uncomfortable position, so you have to kind of be respectful. And Canyon is the main one who's suffering right now in terms of, okay, my lanes don't have prio for the most part. Obviously the wave is bouncing back now for Keen, so he's covering there. But Canyon has to be careful because he's not going to have the immediate support, the immediate backup. Now, though, Keen could end up in trouble here.
Keen weirding for the slow. Inspired spotted on the Tribush ward, and Keen will just start to walk away. Inspired, you do want to get towards that level 6 as quickly as possible on the Viego as well, so with his Krug spawning, wants to get back there, doesn't want to spend too much time stopping Keen from being able to push this wave in. Keen, with the push, will now just be able to back away, but Douglas freezes the wave slightly. And see Keen, not even actually get his recall off there. Good weirding from Douglas to stop it in the last couple of seconds.
Yeah, just keeping the wave in an uncomfortable spot for him as well. And kind of just biding the time. Not letting him get that reset up, getting full HP.
Another good hook from Isles as Ruler's chunked down to half HP. The Ignite down as well will chip away at his health bar, but in the end, apart from just getting some of that health away from him, not actually costing Ruler too much in terms of CS. Saint's going to get taunted up here by Chovy. Smashes him with the Petrocite hands that he has.
I think that's the thing that's, you know, as much as things are going good for LYON, and we know that from what Inspired said before the series, the game plan...
Ooh, Valkyrie down onto Oz. He has to flash away, but the flash follow from Ruler endures enough. The auto comes out. Isles just oversteps a smidge. Berserker now getting chased out as well. His barrier almost back off cooldown. Inspired coming in from the side as well. Flash, Spectral more, knock up with the ground entrance barrier as well. Inspired look for the kill, but he's CC'd. He'll get it. He'll go into the corgi. Valkyrie's over onto Duro, who flashes away. And Inspired will pay for his kill with his life. Canyon takes him down.
Oh, the barrier buying so much time there. Feels really unfortunate for LYON. If Inspired was able to get more momentum there, get the kill onto Ruler, then Duro, would have maybe be able to escape even from Canyon, but unfortunately slowed down so much. The peel in that comes through, able to delay those resets from coming out. Isles just overstepping a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit too far forward, but still, really good start for LYON. They are within 100, 200 gold, 6 minutes in. Public execution not hitting from Keen as Douglas uses the ultimate of his own just to dodge away. Keen, though, does have this wave in a really nice spot, and Douglas doesn't have too much mana. Let's have the TP if he just wants to go back and then teleport to try and break this freeze.
Yeah, neither top laner having reset yet. Both just kind of holding out, keeping each other accountable in this situation.
I'm going to kick off the Drake. That's the first move. Canyon only just coming past his inhibitor now, so this will be the first neutral objective of the series for LYON. Let's have another look at this. Isles there, procs the Aftershock early and then keeps going in for the fight.
Yeah, Aftershock down, shield down, gets CC'd, and Ruler Valkyrie's over him, and the Valkyrie, even level 1, does so much damage. She's just caught off guard, and then here Berserker's trying to trade back, but has to back away eventually. And then here, Inspired sees the free kill, but the barrier comes through, the healing as well from the Rakan.
Douglas should be able to walk away from this one, but perhaps not from Canyon, who's on his way across. No flash for Douglas. Cease and desist. He smashed with the fist, and if Vault Breaker out, means that Canyon gets his second. Yeah, the fact Canyon can get out of there without having to burn the flash feels really good in that situation. So, kill set up by Keen, but finished off by Canyon, and they will have a gold lead now. But still not super substantial. LYON did get that early dragon. Knock up here onto Berserker. Good hook out of it, but Ruler hits level 6. Has those missiles. Hits the first onto Berserker. Hits the second too. Not quite enough to take down the Yunara, but will force Berserker out of lane.
Found a great angle there. Ruler hitting the level 6, having that power spike. You know, the Yunara's level 6 so strong, but not being available. And also Duro using the Spellbook Ignite for that extra pressure. So we see some heavy trading back in return.
Yeah, ping's coming out towards the blue buff area from Gen G. I think they were wondering if perhaps they could go for the invade onto Inspired here. But they'll back away. You can see Canyon just going up towards his own blue side, wants to farm through and perhaps make his way towards Keen on the top side. Grub's up in 20 seconds. They were pretty delayed in game one. Lots of teams now kind of are leaving them until there's a very large window just to take it. It's like, I don't really need to be doing anything else here.
I think as well, a lot of junglers will just do like the 1 for the extra XP.
Public execution onto Dokla, but he goes between worlds and dodges away. Keen trading back in with that shield. Has the Hex Drinker as well first hit. For rushing the Eclipse, as we see a lot of Ambessers doing, and Hex Drinker with the magic resist doing a lot of work into Dokla, who is struggling after being in control of the lane early game.
Yeah, Keen really playing for this lane matchup and starting to gain control. Could threaten a dive, maybe.
Weird and clears out most of the way. Keen looking for the dive. Okay, it wasn't a threat, it was a promise as Keen takes the kill. Just solos out Dokla in topside.
This feels rough, honestly. Yeah. Having this flex pick that you put the Aurora in top lane in this matchup, and I know Canyon ganking definitely didn't help Dokla, but Keen getting the solo kill there just makes you really concerned, especially with how strong Ambessa becomes on the one-item spike. It's not going to get better.
Spike delayed a little bit because of that slightly different path through the Hex Drinker towards the Eclipse. Canyon did take the grubs while this was happening, and Rulu and Duro wisely back away from the bot side, knowing that, well, where could Inspired be? He's somewhere down here, most likely. Canyon gets a little bit pushed down. So, yeah, that voice line, that wow, I guess every time we cut to it, someone recalling. Rulu will clear out the wave. And after, 6 minutes, we were talking about how it was only 200 gold difference. Now Gen G 1.6k ahead of LYON, who just have that single kill and Drake to their name. Yeah,
I think with the lane advantages, LYON's not getting as much of a farm lead as maybe they would have hoped in comparison to like Gen G game 1. But, Inspired, as he said before the series, the hope is just to stabilize lanes and get to a mid-game where they can fight. So that's what we're looking toward. It does feel unfortunate that game 1, Gen G got the early dragons. They get like the Chemtech Ocean into Hextech Soul. LYON get Hextech Mountain.
Yeah.
If it's a terrible soul, I'm going to feel so bad for them.
They do still have to do the next steps of taking the next dragon and then playing for the soul as well.
That's true.
And so I was spotted out on vision. He comes towards topside. Inspired here as well. Has the Kraken Slayer complete on the Viego. Looking to see if they can burst down Keen. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Saint knocked up with the Justice Punch. As Chovy takes him down to about a third HP.
And now this is concerning because Chovy can start to move towards top. They have info this dive is coming.
Depth charge onto Keen. Public execution to dodge the CC. Isles caught underneath the tower. Still Keen surviving through it. Isles will fall. Dokla will follow. Inspired will come third. Oh, flashes away from the hero's entrance. A double though for Keen as the TP comes in from Duro. They look to collapse onto Inspired, but he will be able to escape.
The fact that Inspired gets the kill and manages to get out before Chovy, it could have been even worse. Yeah. It could have been 3 kills coming through. Duro even coming through with a teleport. Just a devastating situation for LYON there, trying to kill Keen and 2 go down. 3-1-1 now for the Ambessa. This is
and
while
it happens, Berserker is forced away from his tower on the bottom lane. 3 plates, 4 plates, 3 plates go over to Ruler. He has a 15 CS lead as well. It's almost 900 gold ahead now for the Corki, and Keen is still 1,000 ahead himself.
Oh man. Yeah, going from bad to worse in this situation. This Ambessa is going to be a problem. Yeah. So see the buffer on the ultimate from Isles, beautifully played. And then just buying as much time with the cooldowns, gets that shield in as well, focused down on LYON who had aggro. Dokla grabs it with the tower ramped up, and then Inspired dashing and then flashing to get out of the knockup just in time. Because with how ramped up the tower was
dead. Yeah, one or two more tower shots would have definitely killed off Inspired. Gold lead shrinks a little bit for Gen G, but with the quickness going down onto Isles, he does have the flash, might try and dash out of this one. Charm onto Berserker as well, who continues to trade in. Isles perhaps looking for the hook onto Duro. Has a flash of his own, goes for Ruler. Ruler flashes back into the bush, but Berserker continues to trade in. Flash in from Isles, Ruler low. LYON winning the 2v2 bot, but Canyon's here to stop them in their tracks. Canyon will come across. Berserker gets another 2 for 2 in a 2v3. LYON's bot lane coming alive.
Huge play there from Berserker and Isles, managing to get the 2v2 kills, and unfortunately for them, Canyon cleans it up, but still outplaying Ruler and Duro, not something that many players find the chance to do.
Really nicely done from LYON's bottom side. Because Canyon was there, though, it will be their first Drake of the game going over to Gen G. Canyon now 4-0-0 on this Vi, and you can see the comparison in the Coinbase gold grind between Canyon and Inspired. Pretty even in terms of gold, but Canyon has been having a whale of a time when it comes to picking up kills.
I think it kind of shows that Inspired has been keeping up. He got those couple of kills, has been farming quite well.
Good
but
comes to Duro. Death charge there for the follow-up. Saint looking with the Spirit Rush. Isles will take the kill. The chase continues. Great charm from Saint, just clicking the heels of Canyon. He has to Vault Breaker away, but another hook. A hero's entrance. Canyon survives. Sees goes in. Back in. Canyon dies. Will they follow up onto Chovy? Inspired's going to steal away the Vi. And Chovy just gets out alive. Meanwhile, on the top side, Keen continues to win the 1v1.
But it's good news across the rift for LYON. Even though Dokla is not having a great time in the matchup, he does escape. That's the main thing. And that play for LYON was huge. They get the initial pick, and this is what the comp wants to do. The reset potential is huge there. And the gold lead less than 1,000 now.
Yeah. Really good stuff all around from LYON. Isles setting up as well with a couple of great hooks, and then Saint coming in with the follow-up. Look at this. Duro thinks he's safe, but a good first hook into Depth Charge means that Duro now looking to battle dance to Canyon, can't get there. Saint with a great charm just on the heels of Canyon.
Yeah. And then here, Canyon goes for the short dash to try and get round the wall.
Bend the bullet.
But it's not enough. And then he goes back in. He's like, I'll set it for Chovy. Just ends up going down himself. I think probably could have just walked away.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you can see they were looking for Inspired, but Inspired, when you get the passive out of the Viego, you get that health back. Makes it so much easier for you. Saint now 1,200 gold ahead. Had a real struggle in the lock-in Swiss stage online. LYON generally had a real struggle going 1 and 2. But in playoffs, this guy really came to life.
And starting to do so in this game with a big goal lead now. 1,200 to get ahead of Chovy. And if you have a Fed Ari, a Fed Viego with this composition, it's going to be so significant when you get those first kills. The momentum you get is huge.
LYON in the lead. 15 minutes in, still 3 minutes before Chem Drake, so we've got a while. This is
you know, Chemtech Soul, when they start to get dragons.
Not exactly what you want. And the problem for LYON is going to be Keen.
Yeah.
He is so damn big right now, and you have to, like, we saw yesterday BLG versus G2. Obviously, we've seen Ambessa do a lot of stuff.
Oh, I did see that.
Did you see that?
I did see that.
Bin absolutely smurfed on G2.
On G2?
Yeah, on G2 specifically.
What region are G2 from?
G2 are from Europe.
Oh, Europe.
Yeah.
And that's the LEC, right?
That is the LEC.
Oh,
man, look, you can try and mock me here. LEC losing to LPL top laners is a time-honored tradition. If it's an international tournament, that has to happen.
At least you got a new cool screenshot.
It's true. It joins the 20 other ones of Aatrox's just slamming onto G2 on repeat. Or a cannon slicing Maelstrom or something. But yeah, like we've seen what an Ambessa can do, especially after you get towards the Death Dance, especially after you get towards a little bit of that sustain like, in the kit.
Yeah.
Now with the Eclipse complete, Dokla is just never winning that matchup. And I guess the question I'm coming to is, how do LYON actually start to pressure Keen in the side lane, or how do they negate the pressure that he's going to apply?
I didn't think Dokla has a lot of wave clear and is hard to pin down. Keen has been pressuring him, we've seen that, but he hasn't been killing him the last couple of times. He hasn't been able to dive him.
Oh, public execution going on to Saint, who Spirit Rushes away. Saint loses half his health and his tower. And now even with the charm connecting, Keen very happy in this matchup because he has that Hex Drink to Keen though. Holding on to his flash for now, Inspired on the way across. Spirit Rush available to Saint, but Keen just dives in. Spectral Maul for the stun. Keen now beginning to retreat, realizing that he doesn't have a huge amount of armor, and Inspired claps him. LYON, we are telling they could negate the pressure of Keen with just exactly like that, yeah. And they go for more. Ruler gonna get Depth Charge. Inspired chasing forward. Charm coming out with the quickness. There's the Heartbreaker forward by Inspired onto Ruler. He gets the reset. He gets another. Inspired and Isles take down 2 more.
That's how you do it. Get the first kill and the resets come through. Inspired now getting so much gold off the back of that play. And Gen G downing kills for the first time this series.
Huge from LYON. We wondered if they could bounce back after game 1. Well, they are bouncing back with a vengeance.
What game 1? You know, just forget about it. And Keen, I think, feeling very confident in his strength. Burns the ult early, chunks Saint out, but it's an Ari. You know, hard to get the follow-up in the end of the kill. And then here, I think Keen was waiting for the moment to flash against a Viego. You're thinking, okay, I'll flash still, I'm ready for it.
That final order did a ton
I'm pretty sure that crit.
Yeah. And then here, Ruler on vision, Depth Charge comes out. Inspired has so much mobility, we talked about it in draft, and they can follow up with a Heartbreaker reset into the reset, gets the kill. And Duro really can't do anything at that point.
Yeah, don't be scared though, they can't kill you ever. You are so OP.
Oh shit. Twice I've cast a Genji series here at first, and one of them is Swan.
It's just a great way to describe the situation, you know? Inspired, given those sharp calls you've expected from him, where he's giving all the feedback to the team, saying what they should do. Ruler's like, yep. Yeah. Drake taking for Genji. The focus for Dokla currently on the top lane tower. A 2,000 gold lead about to extend for LYON right now. Items beginning to come in across the board. 2 for Berserker, 2 for Saint with the Malignance and the Rocket Belt, and 2.5 for Inspired Collector, Kraken, Last Whisper. Yeah, he's strong. He's such a threat right now, and honestly can just kind of run rampant in some of these fights. And I think one of the problems with, you know, with the Viego being so fed is if you try and focus him down, he has the ult to buffer. If he gets a reset, then when he has those frames where he's untargetable. A lot of the tools on Genji are very powerful at focusing down a single target. They're very telegraphed. Yep. And if you avoid them, Genji can suddenly find themselves in a really bad spot.
I much agree. I do wonder if in the full team fight, it's nameplates on, but I still favor Genji's composition when it comes to a full 5v5. Even though they're 2,000 gold behind, it's like at some point Inspire can't just only use the Nautilus to walk in. You know? I think it comes down to how the fights are structured. If they're kind of more clumped together and you get this flawless Genji engage, it's going to feel great for them. Whereas for LYON, I think you want to find it a bit more split out. Yeah. Someone's like Duro's up to the side, maybe looking for a flank. Team fights. Yes, and you start it off with, you know, Duro was trying to find a flank angle, we killed him, and that immediate momentum starter for the rest of the fight makes it so much easier. So we'll see if they're able to pull that off. It's not obviously going to be the easiest thing, but this is such a great spot to be in this game. Really solid stuff so far from LYON. As Keen, spider senses tingling a little bit. Yes, it's a brand new day, it's tingling. Tingling a little bit as Inspired and Saint are waiting. Keen will begin to step up, doesn't have the flash. Yeah, I think that's the danger point. He does have backup with the Galio. Chovy and Duro both moving down through the river. He's walking into them. Canyon there as well. There's the charm. So look for the damage. Hero's entrance onto Keen, who tries to shield up with repudiation. Public execution as well, and Inspired's down before he can get the reset. Saint trying to run away, gets another charm onto Keen, but even with the stopwatch, he can't stop his own death. Genji find 2 as they collapse on the bot side. And Chovy was immediately ready to come in for the support. You know, you have the Hex Drinker, you have the Magic Shield from the Galio. Really just limited Saint's damage, and Inspired just wasn't able to do enough on his own. He has Collector as well, remember, so he really needs to get him below 5% and just wasn't able to do so. That gold lead that we saw LYON have, with this tower going, I think it's just gone. It goes from 2.5k to 0 in the space of 90 seconds as the Ripto charges through mid and Genji get their 3rd turret of the game. Not the best 90 seconds they've had, but it's still, you know, I think it shows how things can go wrong for the composition. They were super patient with this play. They waited to get the charm out of the Fog of War and layer the CC. The thing is, Inspired ulted a little early because he wanted to guarantee it, which makes complete sense, but you didn't get as much execute damage on it, and Keen just able to survive. Look how low he is. Yeah, Hex Drinker in the Hero's entrance really saving Keen in that fight, and then after that gets the repudiation off for the extra shielding. Yeah. I mean, the resets come in, could be different. There was a lot of Genji members who came in. The whole squad were ready to back up Keen. But maybe it's an let's escape at that point. You have, and if Viego's stolen Ambessa, he can dash away. He's got Heartbreaker over a wall. You've got an Ari who has Spirit Rush. She can try and escape as well. Or at least buy time for the rest of LYON to come in. But yeah, and I think it shows that a lot of these fights are going to be, do you get the momentum? Or if you just struggle and fail to get 1 kill, that can just cut you short completely. Definitely can. Genji once again taking the lead in the game. 60 seconds before we have the next Chem Dragon on the Rift.
Which, I don't think the Chem Dragon's amazing for LYON. I mean, it's decent for like a Viego, but I actually think for Gen G...
Avoiding the initial burst.
Yeah, and for champions like Ambessa, Vi, and the Galio, it's a good amount of value. So if they do get that Chemtech Soul, it is going to make things tricky for LYON in this game.
Definitely agree with you. Keen still way ahead of Dokla, who is currently matching Chovy on that bottom side. And it looks like they are going to send Saint as the one who needs to deal with Keen, who still has his flash and his ultimate available. Canyon hovering around him, Duo on his way across as well. Good vision control for Gen G around this Baron pit. They could just start to look to play around it themselves. Saint with the teleport could join from the bottom, Dokla with the TP could join from the bottom side. But he's getting forced out pretty handily by Chovy right now.
Yeah, I don't think Dokla has a fun matchup.
Oh, public execution, they're just diving onto Saint. They go in with a follow-up season assist. Saint's going to Spirit Rush out. There's the Hero's Entrance follow-up, and Inspired trying to dive in, but dies for it. Gen G find 2 Spirit Rush away from Saint Berserker. Trying to open up the big guns, but just doesn't have the damage to work his way through Ruler, who almost takes him out with a phosphorus bomb to the face. Gen G will back away with the jungler dead, though. I think it might be a call for Baron.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so decisive when they start the fight. Initially looking for the Ahri, and the Ahri a hard target to follow up on, but Inspired goes in, and they just turn onto him. And as soon as he dies, it's just hard to see a fight that LYON win from there. Baron going to be secured by Gen G. They're TPing in mid as well, so not even really an angle for LYON to trade for the Dragon. And that gold lead's going to be blown open.
It's so tricky because Gen G call, we're just going into this bush. They jump onto Saint, and then you can see Inspired thinking, maybe I can get in, goes in with a Heartbreaker, immediate charm for Duro.
Yeah, I think there just wasn't anyone low enough for him to go in. It was a good ult from Isles to buy time for Saint, but he's not
on the
here.
Spirit Rush here for Saint. Gets it back up, starts to dash away, and should be able to escape Keen's clutches.
Not fun playing into Keen right now. Feels like Saint and Dokla, it's kind of been like just avoid him. But he is level 17 now. Problematic. He's just so bulky, so much healing as well. From the extra ranks in the ultimate.
Yeah, what are you doing to him, man? It's Spear, Eclipse, Hex Drinker, Steel Cap. So even if Inspired is there, his damage isn't really doing too much.
And I think the concern is you're getting to the point where like Chovy has a Seeker's Arm Guard. Keen and Canyon, I think, are going GA.
Big execution onto Berserker, who flashes away. Keen still looking for it, just dashes through them all! They can't touch him! Keen, untouchable from LYON, a double for him. Just dives into 3, and we saw it yesterday, BLG versus G2. When an Ambessa is this far ahead, there's just nothing you can do.
I think this is one of the big frustrations playing against Gen G. Oh, looking for a fight here.
Chovy going very deep. Seasoned assist though onto Inspired. He's cut down where he stands. The Hero's Entrance in from Chovy as Saint pops the stopwatch and pops immediately afterwards. Gen G, after cleaning up 4 kills, are just looking towards the Nexus. Berserker up in 6, Isles up now. The first Nexus tower down. Will Gen G continue their advance? They still have that Baron for another minute's time. Dokla chunked out a little bit by Ruler. Chovy still low mana too, but with the minions coming in, the Nexus tower will be forfeit. Canyon caught out, dashes away. Keen dives in. The follow-up from Ruler as well as Berserker is cut to pieces. Dokla, the last one standing on the fountain. Gen G, after a few fumbles in the mid-game and great play from LYON, will still go 2-0 up. I mean, maybe I did. Maybe I misspoke. But we're aligned. So early on in the series, teams tend to want the first pick.
Yes.
And then later on, they tend to say, oh, we'll take 2 power picks rather than...
Yes.
As we get into this draft, powered by Omen and HyperX, you see it is Gen G, I believe, on the blue side. That is what we were told. But it may be that I have been misinformed. We've already made mistakes around what's happening in this draft anyway. So Rise and Rumble bound away alongside the Bard, Karma, Varus, and Annie taken away by Gen G.
Yeah, so something to note is that Pantheon, open and available, which I assume is just going to be first picked in this situation.
I would assume so too.
Pantheon's so strong, a lot of picks that he syncs up nicely with, like the Talia still open and available. I just think this pick is not only the strong elite pressure, but the global pressure, and then actually strong in the later stages. But Gen G actually say no. We'd rather take the Nico, which they did ban in the last draft.
Okay, so the draft isn't wrong. It's just I'm so used to blue side being left side of the screen, and that's not what we're doing here. We're doing where the team is on the stage is where their picks are. So
Right.
Gen.G are blue side and did have first pick, but are on the right side of your screen.
I get you.
Yeah?
I understand now.
Yeah, I'm sorry for being confused. So yes, Gen.G banning away the Karma, the Varus, and the Annie, going to pick up the Nico as their first pick. Rise, Rumble, and Bard taken away by LYON, and they will pick up Nami, and we'll see what they'll go with alongside that.
I assume it's like Nami Pantheon, then you save your third pick, which, I mean, you could go Lucian Nami, but hasn't been the highest prio sort of pairing. I mean, Corki Nami has really been good, but Corki's already been taken away. I would be very concerned about giving Nico Pantheon over. But it looks like they might just do that. They're going instead for the Wukong. You know, Wukong a decent pick, a lot of team fighting power. And a pick we've seen obviously played extensively in the meta, but I think Canyon will just actually end up going for the Nocturne instead. So surprising to see. Kind of had this in game 1 where the Vi was overlooked and now the Pantheon being overlooked, but Nocturne Nico is such a scary combo to play into, like lights out. You don't know if you're dealing with like a minion or a clone or whatever.
And also, if the Wukong does go in and you pop the Paranoia, then the rest of the team can't see where the Wukong is. Instead, the Pantheon will be locked in.
Okay, I mean,
that's
I think
why we don't talk
Pantheon,
about hovers that much. You know?
Yeah, but I think they were kind of toying with the idea because it is a strong combo, but Pantheon is just broken.
Yeah. Aegis Assault does so much work. Caitlyn as well, perhaps for Ruler, to get that push in the bot side.
And I think if you were considering going Lucian Nami, this is going to give you some concern if you're playing into Kate Nico.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, not going to be a fun time in the lane in the 2v2. The sustain for the Nami helps alleviate a little bit, but you are going to be pushed in and have a lot of pressure come into you. But they're still going to commit to it, still going to go for that Lucian.
I will say there's a point in a series like this where sometimes you do just have to pick comfort. You just have to say, this is our game plan going into this game. We know Gen.G can do this. We know they can match us with more range, more pressure in these positions, but we trust ourselves with this team composition. Let's just do it. And it feels a little bit perhaps like that's what Lion's gone for here. Said, we want Wukong, Lucian, Nami. We know Gen.G could do these things. We're just going to go for this.
Yeah, does feel a little bit uncomfortable so far with what they're playing into. Caitlyn didn't get any direct buffs, but like the Hex Optic's so strong, great item for her. And now looking at some of the bans coming through, TF I think a great ban. You've already got enough point and click CC to set up like the Caitlyn. A pick Chovy's had a lot of success on.
Saw Chovy use it on day 2 as well against JDG.
Yeah,
right?
and
the
even after
Destiny's Starfall combo is
even
so
after
nice.
getting solo killed, still just didn't matter.
Yeah. And now we'll see where Gen.G decides to go with their bans. I'll get rid of Akali away from Saint, who did have a really solid mid game in game 2. After struggling a little bit in game 1. We have been informed if we want this to be the fastest best of 5 ever, Gen.G need to win in sub 1922, is what it says on the screen in front of me. Going to be faster than the JDG series earlier on. It's 26:07.
Okay. Faster than JDG, 26:07, very doable. Fastest time ever, 1922, that's tough.
Yeah, that is going to be a tight one.
Before Baron even spawns, Victor ban comes through just from the control mages left available. Talia's still there. I know Talia did get toned down a little bit, but Talia into the short range Lucian, into the Wukong with the Pantheon, I think feels really good. And it has that double global mid-jungle pressure that you can have for Gen.G. Taking away the Scion as well, one of those bulkier tanks that can be a bit harder to cut through. I think it could be something we see come out.
Wouldn't mind the Talia at all. LYON have first pick of the second phase. Likely going to look towards a mid laner of their own, LeBlanc. The current hover, seen this a couple of times over first stand, hasn't always had the most impact. It's not something we see too often from Saint either. He has played it here at first stand and then played it once, I believe, in the LCS as well.
Yeah, obviously something that's difficult to deal with if it's playing on the flank angles. And also, if you are into the Pantheon, I think there's a lot of mid laners where if you're in a Pantheon, it's so easy to just have that gank set up. Not the easiest to gank a LeBlanc. And Gen.G toying with the idea for a Jace for Keen.
I mean, you'd assume it's for Keen, right?
Yeah.
Like, mid lane Jace does still exist, it's just quite rare.
I haven't been super convinced by Jace so far. I mean, he got a lot of nerfs when he was in the jungle and he was super dominant, but like his shock blast damage is down. They gave a bit more damage to like his melee form. He is into a pretty short-range composition, but there are ways of closing it down.
There's so much poke, though, from Gen.G. If they lock in this Mel as well, you're just never going to get close to them.
Yeah, this is very much we get control of the game, we stand our ground, and it's so hard to deal with this. And you think, okay, if Saint wants to pressure Chovy, it's going to often start with a chain. Well, it's going to get reflected more often than not. Now, seeing what's going to come through in the top lane for Dokla, you know, a player who we've talked about often being left to last pick for LYON, often going for those counter picks. This kind of just feels like a pick to be stable in the lane, maybe set up, but actually
going
for the Aurelia.
Yes, big Dokes, come on.
So this is something he did play domestically. I believe it was against Team Liquid. He had a series where he played this and got MVP. Playing into the Jace, especially if you get some gank setup, you can really punish. So, you know, Dokla had a rough game last time. Keen was obviously the main character of that game too, but this is a chance for Dokla to get some redemption.
But you do need to get some of that early pressure. Otherwise, if you start to fall behind the Jace, it's ranged into melee. He can just harass you. If you jump on top of him, he knocks you back. It can be really tricky for the Aurelia to get in a position where she can actually trade effectively with the Jace.
I'm going to be real. Into Genji's composition, and with a Lucian, a LeBlanc, and an Aurelia, if you fall behind in general...
This is a we need to win laning phase.
Yeah,
we need to get ahead. Aurelia, a great pick here. Something we do not commonly see on the international stage. And often the reason we don't see it is because if you fall behind, you begin to really struggle. And CC is not your friend as Aurelia. If you jump in, you get crowd controlled, you don't really have many ways to escape.
I will say it makes that top jungle 2v2 really strong. Both the Wukong and the Aurelia, the factor into a AD jungle top, you know, Aurelia's W reduces so much physical damage and Wukong getting that free armor. So I think if Canyon wants to show up top, I mean, you'd love to gank an Aurelia, but you have to be a little bit...
And we'll see Genji. Oh. Okay, for a second I thought perhaps we'd have a lane swap coming out. Chovy did head up towards top to match into the Aurelia, but I think he's just placing a ward down there and giving a little bit more vision for Keen. This is something you love to do when you have a range into melee matchup, is get as many wards in the bushes as possible, because then Dokla can't just walk up, hit a minion, walk back into the bush and avoid your auto attacks.
Yeah. So I think we've seen that a decent amount last year, where like people would walk in and get the ward level 1 early. A little bit of favor there from Chovy to the top laner. And obviously Keen still has his ward for later to make use of.
At the moment, just standard lanes. Both the junglers starting on the top side of the map. And, yeah, nothing too inventive at the level 1. I was taking a bit of a chunk. Saint going in with the distortion and good damage out of the Radiant Volley there from Chovy. Already procs the passive onto Saint.
Yeah, they buffed Mel's damage a decent amount as well, so pretty threatening. But live now, the Act 2 Battle Pass bundle. Purchasing unlocks the Prestige, Requiem, Solar Skin, and Chroma. So you can get your hands on that.
You can. Bunch of other stuff in that Battle Pass as well, as we saw the chains or something. I think Sigil of Malice getting reflected on Saint as Ruler trades into Isles. Man, this is the risk.
If that trap didn't, if it was a little bit earlier, scary stuff.
It really was. So that's the risk as well of playing something like the Lucian Nami into Caitlyn and Nico. Early trades from the Genji bot lane. Heals exchanged, and Keen now trying to chip away at Dokla's HP as well with that Shock Blast.
Yeah, Berserker also going the cleanse, which, you know, makes sense in terms of evading like the CC that leads to the trap. But sometimes even when like cleanse is high value, we see AD carries go barrier, because if you don't have barrier, it really becomes hard to go for those heavy trades. Ruler and Duro have already committed their combat sums just to try and get an advantage. In fairness, Berserker and Isles aren't really that far behind in health, but you can already see the pressure coming out.
Getting the push, getting the plates as well. Caitlyn loves to get around the map as much as possible to pick up all of those plates in the early game. Something you used to extol the virtues of Zigsport as well. Just take as many towers, as many plates as you can in the early game. Dokla with a flawless duet lands the stun onto Keen, but Keen trades back in with those auto attacks. Blade Surge from Dokla, picking up those final few minions. Inspired looking to get this Scuttle Crab down in time, and will do so. Secures the bot side Scuttle. Canyon's going to have to walk all his way up to the top side.
The Scared Yuumi is a Canyon classic.
That it is. Inspired is working his way down towards bot here. Headshot onto the trap. Berserker cleanses away. Isles low as well. They know Inspired's in the area. They spot him on the ward. Question is, can they get out? They both have flashes. Inspired with no red buff now, doesn't have the slow. Oh, he changes into a minion, gets the tangle bars, but Inspired able to dodge away from it, forces Duro to flash. Snapchat onto Inspired. Another! Oh, no. He's eating all the cupcakes and almost going down. Berserker dashes in and dies. Will Ruler go for anything more? Decides against it.
Absolute dismantling there from Ruler. The trap set up for the retreat. And Duro had to flash there because he thought flash Q from Inspired could kill him. But Ruler just had it ready for when Inspired retreats. That was so well played.
And now it's a BF sword into double longsword in favor of Gen G on that bottom side. Ruler already popping off, held onto his flash as well. Have another look at this. Duro changes into a minion as Inspired goes in.
So he puts his trap down to try and catch Inspired on the dash, and Inspired ends up walking back, and he's trying to path around it, but just walks into a new trap, and then the old trap that was in the brush. Berserker pushes in to try and like relieve some pressure for him, but Ruler has lethal tempo stacked up, and Gen G coaching staff feeling great.
Oh, that's the risk of trying to dive in here when you've been harassed down like that. Chovy landing the Radiant Volley as well. Oh, Keen goes in. Flawless Duet will get the stun. Dokla flashing away. Keen smacks a hammer over him and gets a kill on the top side.
Okay, well, top lane matchup not going currently.
None of the matchups are going well at the moment for LYON.
Jungle's going okay. Well, yeah, jungle's going okay.
I guess that's true, as mid lane is not. It's a golden eclipse as Chovy gets just a solo kill.
It's a 2,000 gold lead.
It is a
5 minutes.
This is much more reminiscent of game 1.
Yeah.
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 So let's go back to our fail-safes.
Yeah.
Berserker 0-11 against Gen G all time. Could make it 1-11, and that's palindromic, which is cool.
Yes.
Also still hasn't taken a tier 2 tower.
No, I thought last game maybe was going to be it because they had that early pressure, but they didn't manage to secure it. This game, look, even if the game goes out of control, maybe you just send it with the Irelia in a side lane. Because again, it's at no point has Berserker's teams gotten
not just
a tier
Berserker,
2. Not him specifically. In the matches he's played against Gen G. So, it's baby steps, right? Focus on the tier 2, because if you don't get a tier 2, you won't get inhibitor tower, you won't get inhibitor, you won't get a nexus, right?
That is true.
It's all stepping stones.
It's that shoot for the moon, if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars sort of idea. And then people not reminding you, you are in the vacuum of space.
People never mention that.
It's a weird part of it,
Yeah.
Canyon starting up the Drake here with pushing bot and pushing mid. It's a very easy first dragon to cure. Saint trying to trade in onto Chovy, will land the chains. Forces Chovy down to half HP, but Chovy continues to trade back in. Looking for that Radiant Volley. Doesn't get connect as much as he'd like. Does not have the golden eclipse.
Yeah, doesn't have the ult, which is big. And they did boost the damage of that in one of the patches before we came into first stand. So it's a big threat. I feel like Saint's been going for these heavy trades. He's like, oh, we're close in health, and then suddenly, boom.
Yep. It's, the Sunwell just falling onto Saint's face right there. As Gen G's bottom lane continues to push in. Double rulers here, measuring up to success as Tangle Barbs acing the hole onto Idols as well, who has to use the heal. Berserker trusting that his support was safe, not dashing in front of the ace in the hole at all. Across comes Chovy. Dokla, Vanguard's Edge will connect onto Keen, who trades back in. Flawless Duet for the stun, knocked back with the Blade Surge in. Dokla trying to win this one out, still loses it. Meanwhile, on the bot side, Duro and Ruler continue to force Isles and Berserker low.
I was ready to get hyped. I was like, he's landing the skills, he's connecting the abilities. I think a bit of an item disparity at that point, thanks to earlier kill.
Inspired. Nope. Okay.
Like the triple thumbs up. Yeah.
It's just what you feel for all of LYON in the situation because you're so far behind, but Inspired in particular, because every lane is losing, and whenever you're able to get there, it's like, well, I can't do anything
he's
now.
Also, he's playing on Wukong, not the most, I mean, he's level 6 now.
Yeah.
The ult connects, the stun connects, but he just doesn't have the damage. And then Canyon even is there just in case. I mean, he had to finish the fight quickly. It's
true.
But Keen just finished the fight quickly, so.
And he did. Plated steel caps now completed for Keen as well. Dokla sitting on a Vamp Scepter, a dagger, pair of leather boots, and a bit of cloth.
Yeah, that means
cloth doesn't help against Hex Take that much. This minion, sneaky. Dokla going in again. Oh, which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? Doesn't matter! Dougla caught up with the Tangle Barbs, and Keen will assist to Duro's first kill of the game.
I don't think Keen so much needed the help, but he got it.
Duro wanted the kill. Just what happened there.
He just came up and was like, oh, no solo kill for you, Keen.
We'll give Keen time on the tower up in that top lane. Drake up in 2.5 minutes, so still a while for Gen G to continue in this lane stake. Keen will clear out the wave, and Douglas should... he's going to lose all those minions, but should be able to get the next one with his Blade Surge. Has a recurve bow now, so he's, you know, a scepter, a bow, a sword, maybe enough to take down Jace. Probably not.
Seeming unlikely. Well, I do have some good news.
Yes.
I'll hold up thought.
Okay, Solus now on to Saint. Dodges away. Golden Eclipse, though. Oh, accelerated shot blast not going to land from Keen. And Chovy holds on to the ultimate for now.
I think if Keen got one auto there,
yeah, I think
it would have been enough. But the good news is, so game 1 was obviously very one-sided, and Gen G got a Hextech Soul. Dragon 2 is Hextech, so there won't be a Hextech Soul from this game.
And that is... You are scraping, not just, you've gone through the barrel into the crust of the earth with how low you're scraping on that one, man. Yes, it is true that Gen G will not get a Hextech Soul in this game. However, oh, I've got it. We've got the curse.
Yep.
Gen G on track for a perfect game.
Oh, that worked last time.
Gen G on track for a perfect game right now.
Especially because they got the 3 grubs, and as you established, even a single grub ruins a perfect game.
In my mind, I'm not going to dictate that I am the grand arbiter of what makes a perfect game. But to me, anything on the scoreboard, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, now we'll see if right around the Scuttlecraft. Inspired looking for Canyon. It was here as well. It was here that it happened. They go in with the Cyclone onto Chovy, and there's the second Cyclone knockup. Tries to get the rebuttal down. Chovy falling low, and Chovy will go down. Canyon now trying to retreat his Keen. Flashes forward onto Isles. Look at the damage onto Berserker and Isles. Gen G will clean up the fight, and Ace in the hole puts Berserker 6 feet under. Saint trying to flash away. Duo flashing in with the Tangle Barbs. And pop goes Saint, but LYON got a kill.
I mean, it worked, right?
Yeah.
The second you mentioned the perfect game, once again, LYON managed to get a kill. But last time, I think the general fight, when they broke the perfect game, much better. This one, unfortunately, Keen was present and very fed, and is once again extremely fed. So we'll see this fight starting off. They go for an engage onto Chovy, and the Mel's are mobile, right? You have the reflect, but it doesn't do too much against a Wukong. But the TP that comes in from Keen that can't be matched, he just jumps onto the bot lane. The damage is absurd, and it looks like he's like, I'll go for Berserker. Who looks like, no, I have that one. You chase down the LeBlanc. Duro even flashing over to help secure it.
Picking up the kill again.
Once again, taking a kill.
Meanwhile on the bot side, Berserker going in to pop Blossom in time from Duro to save Ruler, though. Has that Storm Razor completed. Now a 5,500 gold lead for Gen G, 12 minutes in. Reminder, the time cutoff Gen G need to make this the fastest best of 5 ever is 1922.
Yeah.
Would be, they'd have to continue to accelerate at quite a rapid pace to do that.
Yeah, they really would. I mean, okay, LYON don't have a ton of wave clear in their composition, but that'd be pre-Baron, you know.
Yeah, no tier 1s down yet. This is the first tower to fall in the game.
Yeah, it'd be... A lot of things would have to develop from here. I feel like LYON would kind of have to throw themselves at Gen G repeatedly.
But I also feel like LYON just waiting out the game doesn't really get them anything. Like, if Gen G get to second items, LYON like, okay, we'll delay and try and get our second items. I think at that point, Gen G just still win all the fights. So maybe there is an argument that LYON should just throw themselves in there. Triforce, Collector, Imperial Mandate. Maybe that's enough to just like chuck your bodies at Gen G and try and find some kills.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just send it early. I don't think you win that. I mean, he still doesn't have a complete item. We do have Berserker go on the Collector first. I haven't seen Collector first Lucian. I've seen like a variation of Lucian builds, because there was like Essence Reaver was popular for a bit, and then we had people go on like Storm Razor, with like more the energized thing, but I haven't seen Collector first.
AD carry builds just kind of exist in this ethereal zone that I try not to focus too much on, I'll be honest. There's Berserker here on his lonesome. Chovy and Canyon will collapse onto him, and he is collected by Canyon.
That being said, maybe the thought process, you know when people are really behind and they buy Medjais, right? And it's like, well, if we're going to win, I need to get stacks. Like that's the, maybe it's like, okay, if we're gonna win, I just need to collect everyone and get the extra gold. Right? Maybe that's the thought process in this situation.
I like the logic.
Dougla has 9 now.
He's waiting. Yeah, Dougla does have a Blade of the Ruin King, but Duro's on his way across to make this very quickly. A 2v1, the flash away from Dougla, not far enough from Keen's clutches, who is now 4-0 on this Jace.
It just feels unfair because I'm pretty sure Keen would still win the 1v1, but Duro's just there to just really make it impossible for Dougla in this situation. Chovy could be in trouble. No, he's a bit too fast.
Able to get out with the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Second tower of the game secured for Gen G. Ruler's gonna look to make it 3, but doesn't want to overstep with one of his team around. The Cullen coming out from Berserker, takes a headshot, but finds the kill. Collected! Berserker gets his 2nd of the game.
There you go, got that extra money. Big shutdown as well, so you know what, maybe the Collector paying off there. A lot of ult damage afforded to it.
This big shutdown is like, oh. Yeah, have you seen that basketball meme where it's like, oh, he lands an incredible 3-pointer to cut the lead to 40. It's like huge shutdown to cut the lead to 7,000 gold for Gen G.
Yeah, you know, just maybe like 10 more of those.
Yeah. Corn-based gold grind going very much in favor of Chovy in the mid lane. Not the largest lead on the team either, as Inspired is rooted up here. You know, fight over the Raptors.
Chovy is a gold grinder. I think we can definitely put that title to him.
That's very true.
You know what is rough is that Berserker did just finish his quest, but Saint still hasn't finished his quest or an item at 15 minutes at this point.
Oh, no, he's got Ludens now.
Okay, he's now finished his item. Oh, this quest just came through as well. Okay. You know what? You mention it, and it happens.
I won the lottery. Maybe our caster powers don't extend that far.
Game win for LYON.
Okay.
Okay, that's unreasonable. Maybe the lottery is a little bit.
What color do you want your dragon? I mean, there are still some very slight windows for LYON. If they can manage to find a couple more picks, they can get back into the game. Saint looking for Chovy, rebuttal out from Chovy. Canyon here to cover his mid laner. While in the mid lane, Ruler and Duro continue to push in for these plays, but Dougla coming in from the flank. Tidal Wave will connect onto Ruler. There's the Pop Blossom, trying to keep Inspired at bay, but Ruler's gonna fall. Berserker takes the kill. Duro has to flash away. We said there were windows, and LYON defenestrate the Gen G bot lane.
Collected again, you know, getting that extra gold coming in. Slowly whittling away at that gold lead.
Flash forward from Canyon. Berserker's dead. Isles will follow him to the grave. 2 for Chovy. Yeah.
You know, it was looking good until it wasn't.
That's every Gen G game for the opposition, man.
No, not really, because some games don't look good at all.
Yeah, but like any small win, any small thing you find, it's like, oh, Gen G, okay, well, let's just take 2,000 gold back for that. Thank you very much.
Well, this is a rough one.
It's a roughy toughy, as you would say.
I would say that. I've been known to.
Duro trying to get away from Inspired, who flashes forward, using the smite there as well. TP's coming in. Inspired with the Nimbus strike. And he brings down the staff at the end. But here come Ruler and Keen for the follow-up. Inspired down, Saint TP's in, and immediately he's half HP. Ace in the hole won't follow from Ruler.
Yeah, I think the clone actually helped Miguel a good amount there, having that safety. Oh, Berserker.
Oh, just culling onto Ruler straight away. Accelerated shot plus dodge. Keen falling low, has 700 gold on his head as well. If Berserker can take him, and he finds it. Huge shutdown. Saint does die to Ruler, who used that ace in the hole. Chovy on his way across now. Berserker dashes forward into the snap trap and doesn't quite kill off the Kate, but he will die for it. Ruler takes his head. And now Duro's on the chase for Isles, who's running up through this blue side jungle.
Yeah, Dougla's nearby, but he's just like, nah, buddy, you're on your own.
I'm good, fam. Oh.
Oh no, Dougla's in trouble too!
Dougla is in trouble as the Grand Starfall comes down. Dougla dead. And Isles blast coned away by Duro. And with a Blooming Burst landing, no escape in terms of executions.
You might be wondering how I got in this situation.
She's like a fish out of water.
Yeah, a little bit, Trying to make it to the river, I think, would be a start. There's, going for the recall in the Wolves. They might have given up.
Isles?
Oh,
no, Duro spotted it with the Scry's Bloom, no!
Oh, Ruler's there for the kill.
Oh, Isles. Unlucky. Ruler. Oh, Duro, take it, Duro. Take it, Duro.
He's well trained.
He's 3-1 and 3, right? He took 2 kills from Keen.
No, he's well trained by Ruler, right?
Okay.
No such agreement is there with Keen. The only time I feel like Dura really sort of breaks that agreement with Ruler is when he's going for a penta.
I mean, that's valid.
Yeah.
If Duro's ever going for a penta, I think as a support, you have to keep going for it. As Inspired trying to get in from the side here, but the tower will go over to Gen.G. 10,000 gold, now their lead.
Honestly, I think that's the funniest thing, is someone has a quadra and you get a kill, and you're like, dude, you stole 4 kills from my
why'd you
penta.
steal my penta, dude? And 3 Drakes as well for Gen.G, who are absolutely running this game. We joke around about it, but this has been incredibly one-sided from the LCK #1 seeds. It's a reason that they continue to go on these long undefeated streaks.
But Inspired is taking Gromp on the other side of the map, so, you know, little advantage.
On Gromp, it's a good play.
Yeah.
Saint dives in, and Togla does the same, and is taken down to half HP immediately. Keen the target, though. Vanguard's edge in. Keen will take 1. Berserker, though, will answer with a kill of his own. 1-for-1 exchange in that bottom lane.
Collective value. Think of all the extra gold he's gotten.
I mean, he's almost the closest in terms of gold with his enemy number, and he's still 1.2k behind.
Yeah, with 5 kills, 5 kills, and he's still that far behind.
It's just what Gen.G do so well. Canyon flanked here, Saint going in as well. So we look for Berserker, and you can see Canyon can't escape with the Grand Stopper. He'll go down. Saint trading in with Chovy. Golden Eclipse not enough. Ruler looking to see if he can join this party as well. As Inspired looking for the smite there. Tidal Wave coming out. Not in range. Keen. Well, it's not Keen, it's Duro. And he's only low because he's embodying Keen at the moment.
Yeah, but a couple of kills picked up. You know, just keep at it. Just keep working at it. Infernal Soul in 3 minutes. If you can get a good 20 kills before that point, maybe you'll close the goal gap a little bit.
Maybe. But I'm always like, I will say, that whole sequence there from Gen.G, very odd. Like,
I think they're getting a little bit overconfident.
I think so too, right?
Yeah.
Like Keen up here pressing by himself. The rest of Gen.G walk away. Keen obviously is just going to get caught here.
Yeah, you are a Jace. And also, you get 229 gold per kill on Dokla. Almost twice as much afforded over to Berserker there.
Yeah, Berserker only 150 gold behind now. He's
Yeah.
actually on this
He has
Lucian.
Infinity Edge. He actually has damage.
He's in a strong position. LYON are doing a good enough job of stemming as much of the bleeding as possible. The issue is there's a Baron up and there's 2.5 minutes before an Infernal Soul. And you do need to try and play around that. And also, you're still really going to struggle to deal with Keen if it's a 1v1 on the side.
Yeah, also Infernal Soul with this composition that has so much poke and burst. You know what, I respect that Berserker.
It's the second time he's done it. He walks away from it. There's the Baron begun by Gen.G. They chunked out Isles. Saint does have teleport. Could come across and join the party. The Baron probably down to about 6,000 at the moment.
I think the traps are a hint.
Yeah, just yeah. I mean, the fact that everyone is there as well is kind of a hint.
Also an indication.
Duro looking for the flank here, up towards that top bush. Inspired trying to get in, flashes forward with the Cyclone. Duro kept at bay, Cannon jumping away. Inspired on Ruler with the Cyclone, won't have enough damage. Ruler takes him, Chovy pops the Golden Eclipse. Duro there in time with a Pop Blossom, but Berserker finds another kill. Keen now joining the fray, as Berserker hit with an accelerated shot blast is taken down. Dokla follows suit, and Gen.G will clean up the fight 4-for-1.
I was so focused. Oh,
5-for-1. Oh, good Aquaprism. Canyon gets the slow. Ios, man, you escaped these guys before, and this time he manages to do it again.
Yep, gets away, the one survivor to tell the tale. But a little bit dire for the rest of LYON there. I was pretty focused on the sort of top side of the fight. Inspired trying to get onto the back line. Berserker getting the kill, not being able to get away. I'm interested what happened to the rest of LYON. Saint went in on Canyon off to the side and just got jumped on and killed. Okay, yeah. And yeah, fight happening over here. We do see Berserker getting a kill, but killed by a shot blast, and then Dokla just ends up, unfortunately, surrounded by almost all of Gen.G.
Understandable reaction, I think.
Yeah.
So now...
Well, I do have some news.
Oh, yeah?
We have long eclipsed fastest time ever in a best of 5. It's way past it.
Yeah,
so.
we're 4 minutes past that threshold. Gen.G could get the fastest first stand best of 5 this year, which they currently hold against JDG. If they win this in less than 26:07, they then surpass that as Dokla dies again.
Wow.
So Ruler and Gen.G are pushing in. I think LYON thought that Gen.G was setting up for the Drake, and so they were playing through mid, but Gen.G just very happy to play through the bot side, get the inhibitor. They're going to try and mark Inspired Canyon on his way to see if he can spot out the Wukong as Gen.G have another wave coming in. LYON with 3 will try and defend. Inspired does have that flank position. Has the Cyclone, no flash though. Berserker half HP from a headshot! Did not expect that amount of damage as Saint dashes forward. Berserker uses the culling flash forward from Keen, acing the whole block by Isles. Inspired still looking to see if he can get him behind them here, but no way in with Durac.
What's that cannon minion doing?
Man. It's the scariest damn minion I've ever seen. As Gen.G won't be able to take down the Nexus towers yet. They'll walk through mid, TP behind by Dokla now. Yeah. As Inspired continues to look for that flank position. Gen.G retreating Inspired. Pop Blossom on Inspired still hits the Cyclone. Vanguard's Edge coming in as well as they dance around it. Inspired low, Cannon able to get away. Ruler falling low as well, but he somehow survives through all the damage, and the turnaround from Gen.G now begins to advance. Saint dashing in only to his death as Gen.G will look to round this one out as the quickest series here at first stand.
LYON bot lane, not really much they can do in this situation.
And no real defense for them as well. Gonna have to retreat to the fountain, but their Nexus towers are being razed to the ground, and Keen lands a shock blast, and Berserker does manage to pick one up in response. In the end, Gen.G will dive for the fountain. Berserker, no escape, 0-12 for him versus Gen.G now, as the champions-elect continue their walk towards the finals.
Just crushing their opponents. Still yet to drop a series, still only 2 games dropped this year. And I think game 2, we saw a bit of a fight coming out from LYON, but just couldn't recreate that level of play in game 3.
Yeah, just really impressive stuff all around from Gen.G. I will give credit to LYON. Like, they found ways to fight. Even in game 3, Berserker was able to pick up a bunch of kills.
Yeah.